In the year 2025, the world fell. Succumbing to an unknown virus, human beings by the billions became shells of their former selves, reanimating from the dead with only one goal in mind: to feed their insatiable hunger for flesh. After years of fighting the dead and each other, humanity was able to rebuild civilization back to the way that it once was. The year is now 2075, and the world is nearly identical to the way that it was before the fall. As the world began to rebuild, the new United Nations was formed, a global government entity. After forming, they created the Z.E.O program, a group of elite soldiers tasked with exterminating any remnants of the undead threat. The world as we used to know it is gone. This is Z.E.O. The screaming from the different officers bounced around the walls of the hangar. This hangar was the perfect size for the final test that was placed in front of aspiring Z.E.Os who, up to this point, had endured almost a full year of daily training, exercises, and learning everything there is to know about our common enemy. Every year, the United Nations runs programs all over the globe that trains those who are willing and able to dedicate their lives to becoming a Z.E.O.
Hey, Kyler! Why do you have to look so serious all the time, man?
Oh, don't mind me, Ed. Just trying to focus before the most important test of our lives.
Not if it's gonna make you look like you'll try to kill all of them yourself. This is about teamwork, dude. Not whatever it is you do. Isn't that kind of, the whole point of this?
I had a habit of being a little too serious sometimes, and Ed usually called me out on it, trying to get me to have more, as he likes to say, fun in my life. Shut up. It's starting.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have worked hard to get where you are today. If you survive to the end of this test, you will be able to call yourself a Zed Extermination Officer, one of the lead fighting forces of the New World. If you fail this test, your bodies will be sent home after they are silenced.
The final test before you are able to become a Z.E.O is to use everything that you've learned and clear out a hangar that had been filled with the dead as a unit. The final goal in everyone's mind, of course, was to not die. They had dedicated their lives to this and were not about to lose it.
Man, I always thought the term silencing was weird.
What? Well, what would you call it, genius? A humane euthanizing of a dead person?
It was just a thought. Jackass.
Once the world was rebuilt and the United Nations was reformed, the world decided to come up with a procedure to humanely ensure that whenever someone died, they wouldn't come back. The way the virus worked was if the brain was not punctured before death, you would reanimate no matter how you died. It had become common practice to have a doctor or a nearby Z.E.O use some sharp object to pierce the brain of whoever recently died. This procedure became known as silencing.
This test is not over until there is not a single rotter standing. This is not a time to try to play hero. That will get you killed.
Some people around the world didn't care for how the United Nations decided to create their final test. But those people usually weren't complaining when they had to call in a Z.E.O to keep their own relatives from tearing out their throat after they turned.
Someone once asked me if I thought training for this was harder than training for the military, and I wasn't sure how to respond. What do you think?
I think some parts of it are harder. Having to look into the eyes of someone's family member, knowing that not a single shred of what they used to be is in there anymore, and then just killing it right in front of them.
Christ. I was expecting a yes or no, maybe even a, oh, I guess the exercise isn't too bad. I like staying in shape, But hey, it's you. I shouldn't be surprised, right?
Before I had the chance to answer, an alarm blared 3 times, startling several people in the group. The 3 rings of the alarm meant that we had 1 minute until the start, and reminded us that we needed to make sure that our gear was set up the way that we wanted. I tightened the strap of the hunting knives on my vest, and checked that my kukri was in the sheath on my lower back.
Anyone ever tell you you were a little overkill with this kind of stuff?
Well, if it means you die before I do, I'll take it.
You know you couldn't live without me. I'm too lovable.
Whatever. I looked forward into the hangar. We had been on a platform suspended about 20 feet in the air. When the 3 horns had sounded, the doors on the far end had opened, and in the distance, we could hear it. The dead had entered, and our final test was moments away from starting. We all walked down the stairs that were connected to the platform. There had to have been 40 of us in total. We had one of the largest classes of recruits of the year by that point. As the stairs creaked beneath us, the distant groans got louder and closer.
May God have mercy on your poor souls.
The gate in front of us opened, and an alarm sounded. The test had begun.
All right. I'm sticking with you. What do you want to do first?
Work by myself.
Screw that. You know I wouldn't let you do that.
Whatever. Keep up if you can. Go left up here.
Should we be going so fast? I mean, holy shit. How'd you even know he was there?
You have ears, Ed. The dead aren't exactly quiet.
Okay. Maybe I talk too much.
Well, it's about time you noticed. You got this one?
Hell yeah.
Ed, what was one of our first lessons in training?
I know. Don't decapitate. Slice through the head instead of the neck. I'm not an idiot.
Why'd you do it then?
Thought it'd be cool.
We don't have time for cool, idiot. We're training to save lives. Cool isn't going to help when you're keeping a mother from tearing her own daughter to shreds.
Right. Now I remember why I was hesitant to partner up with you at first.
Too late now. Let's go. Keep up this time. I know you can't live on your own. I've been trying to prepare for this test for most of my life. There was no way I was about to die and make what I had been working for my entire life a complete failure.
Kyler, stop running. I know you heard that.
Was it you?
What? No.
Then we should be fine.
Screw you. I'm going to go help them like a decent person would.
You're gonna get yourself killed, you know. Damn it, Kyler. Well, the screaming's quieted down. I suppose that can mean a few things. For the final test, the hangar had been filled with small structures that were supposed to be buildings made out of plywood and metal. It looked poorly built, but the goal was to get every recruit to have to remember every aspect of their training through every building that they went in. I rounded a corner and went down a small alleyway in between 2 buildings, and I was able to see the cutout of a door, an entrance into where the screaming had come from, and I moved towards it. Damn it, Ed. Why do you have to do something so stupid?
Kyler, get over here.
Damn it.
Help me.
Over here! Damn it.
What?
It's stuck!
Use this.
And that, you idiot, is why I take point every time.
Well, I was going to say thank you, but not anymore, asshole.
You're welcome. But where'd you get the bat from?
Over there.
I turned so the flashlight attached to my pack could shine where Ed was pointing, and there in the corner was a young woman. Dead. Her insides hanging out of her stomach, a pool of blood all around her, and a gaping wound in her neck from a bite mark. That's sad.
This world is screwed up now, to say the least. I guess that's why we stick together, you know? Kyler?
Huh?
Here's your kukri.
I looked at the blade in Ed's hand, the blade still dripping with blood and brain matter after the gruesome encounter. Thanks, Ed.
And can you turn off your flashlight? That stupid thing is blinding me.
Shut up. I turned my gaze back over to the dead woman in the corner. As much as I didn't want to admit it, Ed had a bit of a point. Maybe it was morbid to say that any part of this job could be enjoyable. But if your job is dealing with what feels like hell walking on Earth, maybe you have to be a little morbid. The world sucks, and maybe our job is to make it so others don't see it that way.
Kyler? You done staring at that disgusting dead girl in the corner?
Yeah. Yeah, let's get going. Did you silence her?
Oh, I forgot. Hold on.
Ed stood back up and looked over towards me. Without a word, we both nodded at each other. Silencing can be a somber and even intimidating process, but as a Z.E.O, it should become second nature to you. You never know how quickly someone can turn, and you may only have a few moments to silence someone before you have a whole new issue on your hands. But all of that aside, doesn't change the fact that silencing is usually a Z.E.O's least favorite part of their job.
You ready?
Yeah. Just be sure to keep up.